So last week we had this problem. Why do we have to put a list right here? Why? Why? Why do we have to put list right here? Because a map object doesn't have a length property attributes actually. All right? A map object doesn't have a length attributes. So if you want to know how many items in S, you have to convert the map object into a list first. Do you remember that? Is that okay? And the following problem, what do we have to convert the map object into a list for this problem? Why? Why? Because we are using the subscripts. Remember that square bracket 0, square bracket 1, square bracket 2, they are subscripts. And a map object is not subscriptable. It's not subscriptable. Do you remember that? Okay? So before you can put a subscript on S, you have to convert S from a map object into a list first. Is it okay with you? We have taught this last week. We have talked about this last week. Do you still have the idea? Are you guys still okay? We need to convert this map object into a list because we are using subscripts like this 0, like this 1, like this 2 on S. So we need to convert it into a list before we can use the subscripts on S. All right? So the next problem, did we talk about this one last week? Yes. Are we using length function in this problem? Are we getting the number of items in S in this problem, for this problem? Length, L-E-N. Do you see L-E-N right here? No? Do you see the subscripts right here? Subscripts. What is a subscript? These are subscripts. 0, 1, and 2 inside the square brackets are subscripts. Do you see any subscripts here in this problem? No. No length, no subscripts. And why are we using list function here to convert a map object into a list? Why? Why do we need it here in this problem? Why? Why do we need to convert a map object into a list in this problem? Can we do it without it? No, but why not? Because you cannot use a map object twice. You cannot use it here and then use S again here. Any question? So this is also the answer to the test that we had just now. All right? Any question? No question? All right. That's good. I am asking a question right now, a serious question. So far, you have seen there are a lot of the restrictions on a map object. When we are using a map object, we encounter some problems. You can do this on a map object. You cannot do that on a map object. There are a lot of the things you won't be able to do with a map object, right? So far you have noticed that, right? Okay? And why do we need a map object? Why do they design the map objects that way? Or shall we always use the list function to convert a map object into a list every time when we see a map object? Every time when we use a map, we always convert it into a list first. Is that okay?
No.
Why not? Sometimes you don't need to do this. So, okay, that's a good answer. Very good answer. They will save you some time from typing LIST and a pair of parentheses. If you don't need to type it, save the time for it, right? Is that what you mean? Is that the only thing that you are saving, the time for typing it? Is that the only thing that you are saving without using a list? Actually, the map object is saving a lot of things for you. The most important thing is the memory. Memory. All right? So that's something that I want to explain to you this time. Okay, last week we didn't have time to explain it to you. But this time I'm going to explain why is a map object designed that way. All right? Okay? All right. Let me show you why is that. Listen to me. If I have an S, which is a list of strings times. So this is a list with only one string in the list, right?
Yes.
But if we times it by 10,000, how many strings will there be inside the list? 10,000, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if I hit enter and show you what's inside S, will you see 10,000 1, 2, 3s on the screen scrolling like that, like crazy? Will you be able to see that?
Yes.
No.
Why not?
It will tell you squeeze the text, 922 lines. That's too long, 922 lines. So it's not showing you that. It saves the time. It's not telling you because it's too big. There's one function that I wanted to show you, but you don't have to remember that. It won't be on the test. It's only for the purpose of the demonstration in this class, all right? So what is that? It is the get size of function from sys module. What does that mean? You want to get the size. You want to get the size of S. That means you want to know how much memory S is using. This is what you get. You have used more than 80,000 bytes of memory just for that 10,000 strings. Is there any question? Okay, it's a lot of memory, all right? But if we have M is equal to map, look carefully, map int input dot split. No, we don't want to input, we want to just the S right here. So what does that mean? Does that mean that we want to convert every single item in S into a integer and then save the whole thing in M? Is that right?
Yes.
Is that what I have taught you? Is that what I have told you?
Yes.
This map will convert every string in S into integers and save those integers in M. Is that right? Okay? But how much memory will it take? This will surprise you. This will surprise you. Sys dot get size of M. It takes only like 48 bytes. Very, very little memory compared to S. Right? Okay? Is there any question? So it's not using very, very little memory. But how? How does map? How is map able to save all those memory for you? Why does it take so little memory to work? Why? Because map is not converting all the strings at one time. No, it will convert only one at a time. Convert only one integer into one, converts only one string into one integer at a time. Every time when you ask for one integer, it will convert one for you. When you ask for the next one, it will convert the next one for you. Each time it converts only one. And the only thing M has to remember is which string is it going to convert next. That's the only thing it is trying to remember. That's why it is taking so little memories. But if we have converts this M into a list, then you will see get size of T. It takes more than 80,000 bytes again. It takes a lot of memory again. So by converting a map object into a list means you are using a lot more memories. Do you know what I'm talking about? You are consuming a lot more computer memories than just using the map alone. Do you know what I'm talking about here? Is that okay with you? And later on in chapter 4, when we are talking about the iteration or the loop, we will talk about this a little bit more in detail. Okay? But for now, you just have to remember that it's not a free lunch for you to convert a map object into a list. It will take a lot more memory than a map object alone. So you don't want to convert every single map object into a list. only when it is necessary. Is that okay? Is that okay? Okay. All right. It is going to, yeah. The bell is going to ring very soon. So this will be the lesson I'm giving today, all right? And I will teach you some more problems next week. This will be it for today.